Kevin Dunn getting out of that production truck might be the biggest blessing WWE has seen since this new era has begun because they're going away from some of the tired tropes they've been just relying on over these past few years. And the first thing that's going away is these big, ugly graphics they've been throwing over the screen as these wrestlers come out. As you see on your screen right now, I hate when Roman Reigns comes out because this is what we see. And it's ugly when Becky Lynch has the big ugly hair going over the screen. It's very ugly, and those things are going away. And we've seen a lot of new camera work going on these last few weeks, and we've even seen another company try to kind of adapt those things. But before we get into that, Kiddo, did you like these big graphics? You think they should stay, or do you say good riddance like I do?
I'm gonna have to say good riddance as well because from the very first day that the WWE started using these, maybe they started with Roman Reigns, if I'm not mistaken, during the pandemic era especially, I was like, what in the hell is this? That was my honest reaction. And in the future, with some like, all right, we're seeing the new day, they were a little more presentable, better. But my biggest problem with these was, okay, first of all, they're not real, right? It's like you're doing
Mm-hmm.
pyro, but the pyro is not real. It's just effects. It completely ruins the feeling and everything else. But more than that, if you're going to do that, at least make sure that you didn't hire someone off of Fiverr. No disrespect to people, earning their bread off of Fiverr, but like, whew, like that Roman Reigns thing we saw at the beginning, that was rough. That looked
Terrible.
horrible. Like you got WWE 2K. They already got Roman Reigns' model, dude. Make them do you like a green screen animation. How? You're a billion-dollar company and this is the production quality you're gonna show us and expect us to say, like, hey, come on, WWE, you're big time. Yeah. That was rough, you know what I mean? Because everything else, almost everything else was like, even in the Kevin Dunn era, sure there were problems, but like everything looked big time and these didn't. These stuck out like a sore thumb, and I'm glad that they're gone because, like I said, they look bad, and in the first place, like they're not real. So come
Yeah.
on, man, it just looks weird for a wrestling show, in my humble opinion.
I know Brian's going to miss it. Big WWE boy Brian over there is going to miss it, right?
There you go, bro. Nah, I personally think that when I first saw it, I thought that it was kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie, but then I kind of just
Oh,
grew
here
out
we
of it.
go.
I'm like, nah, I ain't rocking with this dog. So, yeah, nah. I mean, like, look at this picture right here, man. It literally looks like you have
Dude,
turds on the screen.
oh
It
my
just looks
Yeah.
god,
bad. Like,
watch out.
it's just bad, man. You know what I'm saying? So, personally, I'm glad that they're moving away. And just to talk a little bit about the production, the cutscenes. I mean, man, we got one of the best entrances in WWE history last week or on Monday. We had Jey Uso basically walk to the back. Sami Zayn was looking like Spider-Man back there. It was like raining and he was
Yeah.
looking up. I'm like, dog, what's going on here? But we got one of the best shots I think we've ever gotten in a while. Maybe in a while. Maybe, I don't want to say we've ever because I didn't watch the entire WWE
No,
history, but
no, no, no.
it was pretty
I
damn
was
good.
there.
You know
This
what
was
I'm
one
It
of
is
the
saying?
up
best
there.
shots ever.
It
I
is up
mean, I
there.
didn't know what was going on. I was like, wait a minute, somebody gonna jump him back here? You got Jey Uso walking backstage, pushing fans out the way. I'm like, what are we doing here? And then he went out, met Sami Zayn, like, yo, Uso, what you looking at? And then it was like, I saw somebody say this online. I'm not even gonna steal it. They said it was like when you tag out in GTA and then Sami Zayn took over and you're just dealing with
Yeah.
another main character at that point. So I thought it was a great transition, and you are not far off by saying it was probably the best transition we've seen in WWE history.
And they use similar shots every single week and every single show, it seems like. And I don't know, it's gonna take a while till that gets old for any of us, I think, especially because we've just gotten out of the Kevin Dunn era. Like, seeing stuff like this is awesome. I like when they come back from the commercials, the long, camera shot that they use, and like just other camera angles in general. And I think next week when I watch another show, I'm gonna pay attention to people throwing punches. Will the camera do the crazy
Yeah,
zoom in, zoom out thing?
please.
Like, oh my god, that would make me puke almost. Like, I
Yeah.
understand why you're doing it, but it doesn't have to be that wild, man. Like, obviously, even in like Hollywood, like the action movies we praise are usually the movies where we can see all the movements, right? Every single
Hmm.
movement is clear and crisp. Like, and these guys, let's be honest, like, okay, maybe not all of them can throw punches, but they can do other crazy, great looking moves. Why are you shaking the camera all over the place, man? I just ate dinner. Chill.
Yeah. Did you see?
One. Oh yeah, go go
Go ahead.
go.
I was going to, well, just a little thing on that. Did you see the video of like the fan was recording while he was hitting the guy with the chair and like the cameraman was just like jumping up and down? Like, bro, it's
Oh my
ridiculous.
god.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, nah. But one thing I wanted to mention, I'm gonna throw it to you guys here, is I love the now new championship, announcement camera angles with the 8K camera. Those are
Oh,
amazing. And what do you think about them? And another curiosity I have: do you think these guys, when they use it in the entrances, that it's great too, but should they use it while action is taking place to shoot an entire match? What do you guys think? I'll throw it to you, Brian.
Man, listen. They used to have the 8K cameras back in the Kevin Dunn era. They were just barely used, but I must say that going back and watching WrestleMania and watching Cody Rhodes get introduced with the 8K camera, just some
Ooh.
pretty crazy stuff.
they did that this year?
Yeah, they did it this year.
Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't watch it
Yeah, they
back
did
yet.
it this year. So man, listen. Like Kiro pointed out, you guys are a billion-dollar company. Put that money to use, man. Keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? We love it. As fans, we love to see the product get a fresh feel, because I think that's one of the most important parts. When Kevin Dunn was around, product felt very repetitive. Here, like, they come back from commercials, shots look great. So the 8K cameras, man, I think they're a huge win for the company.
Yeah, I agree. It is a huge win. Now, I didn't see. Obviously, me and Brian, we were at WrestleMania. I still didn't get the chance to watch it back on TV yet, so I didn't even know they used it for some of the entrances. But I do like how it looks. It takes some getting used to for me, because even when the 4K cameras came out, I was like, wait a
Right.
minute, I don't know about this, because it feels like I'm there. And like you had the like motion blur, and it made everything look different. It took some getting used to. But like with the 8K cameras tonight, we saw Naomi and we saw Bailey in the ring when they were shooting them. I thought it looked beautiful. It made me think. I even said it to Kiddo. I was like, yo, I wonder if it's worth getting an 8K TV right now, because I know if you
That'd
get
be-
one of those
Mhm.
TVs and you look at this picture, it's just going to be ridiculous. So I don't know, y'all. I might have to make the investment. We'll see.
All right. I didn't get my answer though. I got to ask the question. When the match is going on, do you
Oh,
think they
Oh,
should
we
keep it?
forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think. I think the camera should feel special.
Okay.
I
yeah.
think they should keep it for the challengers entrances. I think entrances look pretty freaking amazing with it. I think it was the Roman Reigns match, and when he faced Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I think that was one of the PLEs that were during COVID, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But that
WrestleMania, some
it might have been with the crowd, but that was a pretty
with
cool
crowd
entrance
feel.
with the 8K
Yeah.
camera. It was cool. So yeah, to answer your question, I think keep it special. I think the cameras they have for the action is good enough.
What
Yeah,
about
that's kind of where
yeah?
I was getting at, but I forgot to say it. Like when I said it took some getting used to with like the 4K cameras and the motion blur. If they were to wrestle in the 8K, I don't know. It would it would definitely feel strange for a while, but
Yeah.
I think you would get used to it. But I think it does add so much to the presentation, because Naomi was looking good tonight with that camera on her. So yeah.
Yeah. With the blur, like the crowd being blurred, I think it would feel kind of like the pandemic era, but with the noise, like because you're not going to be able to focus or see the crowd that much, and they add so much, I think. But one last thing about this subject: what about interviews, like backstage interviews, or maybe Michael Cole
Mm,
comes out there and interviews people? Should we use 8K cameras for those too? Like, I think backstage would be pretty cool. You have these cameras laying around, and they're perfect for like more stationary shots where nothing too fast is going on. So why not use them backstage?
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they gave it a shot, just because I would have to see how it looks in there. I
I
know
agree.
with the like when they're in the ring, the whole visual looks good when you can just see the subject with everything else blurred out in the
Right.
background. So if it's just two people in the back and then the walls back like blurred out, I don't know. I would have to see how it looks.
Yeah, I think I will agree. It just looks really cool when the crowd is in the back, but the wrestlers really stands out, and I think that's the biggest thing with the 8K camera. So I would have to stick with Kenny on this one. I would have to at least see what it looks like
Right.
before I can make a judgment on it. So I don't want to say no without seeing it, but personally, I probably think that I would just want to see them like during entrances and announcements and stuff like that.
But before we get up out of here, y'all, one other thing I wanted to bring up is the fact that AEW I don't mean to laugh. Y'all know I love AEW to death, but they tried to do the one-shot transition, making it out to the ring, and you could tell they're doing it because they saw WWE do it. And you know what? If they do something good, why not introduce it into the show? But for some reason, when they did it, I felt like it was just a camera on the guy's shoulder, and it felt like it was kind of bouncy, headed to the ring. Like you could tell it was a guy carrying it. Where they do it in WWE, the camera just feels like it's floating. Like
Yeah,
when Dominic Mysterio said, "What are you doing?" and slapped it out the way. It
yeah,
just looked like the camera glided out to the arena.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think if you're going to do that, you gotta pull it off. And I just don't think AEW did next week. Maybe they'll figure it out and cook
Yeah.
next week. I
What
don't
a
know.
hater! What a
I mean,
hater,
listen,
man.
man. I think they'll figure it out. If they do want to go that way. Obviously, the producer that WWE hired, I forgot his name, but it did look like he had experience with ESPN and a bunch of other companies. So
Mhm.
obviously, it's clear that this guy knows what he's doing. I don't know who
Yeah.
produces the AEW shows fully, but I mean, if you're gonna do it, I do agree. You pull it off, especially when the other company is already doing it better than you are. You kind of want to do it and do it better than they are. So, you have
Yeah.
that conversation. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the production quality of WWE is top notch. Like, it's really hard to match, man. Like, as much as the people mark out and AEW better wrestling, whatever. That's another conversation for another day. But when it comes to production, promos, everything like that, WWE got it on lock.
Now promos, I don't
Presentation.
know. I don't
No,
know
no,
because I think
I'm talking
MJF
about
is
the
The
cooking
way they are
everybody.
I'm talking
shot,
about the promo
logistically.
packages, the promo
Oh,
Yeah.
packages,
okay,
like the
okay. All right,
videos,
well
like more
we
of
can go
those.
there. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll let
Presentations,
you have
everything.
that one.
I do want to mention Kenny. You crapped on AEW. Very
No, come on, bro.
usual Kenny bomb. Well, AEW I think got inspired, and when they do backstage interviews, I notice them zooming into people and zooming out when they're talking. So that's a little something different that AEW didn't used to do. Now they're doing
Mhm.
it, and I think it's pretty cool actually. So it's not
Yeah.
all bad. You know what I mean? Like you try to paint it.
Come on, bro. But I mean, wrestling is a different beast. Like Brian, you said they brought some guy from like ESPN or something.
Yeah, I think it was some. I just can't remember his name. I try
Yeah.
and find it.
Nah, shouts out to him. We don't even need to know his name, bro. You're cooking. But I think wrestling is a different beast. So even what you learn at ESPN, again, the presentation in wrestling is just different. So you're gonna have to come there and think of different ideas based on what's going on with the show. Because if you look at like football, one guy's not going to the locker room picking up another guy, and then your camera follows the other guy out to the field. Like that's something you got to think about in wrestling. So I got to give it to WWE on this one. The production has always been top notch. It's always been a spectacle, but now with Kevin Dunn being gone, it's just changing. And it seems like it's going up to another level.
I agree.
Old school out, new school is coming in.
Agreed.
Keep cooking.